Welcome to the Back to Me podcast, where we help multicultural incoming freshman women and men manage their entire college experience throughout post-graduation to successfully transition into entrepreneurship and corporate workspaces as new hires.
Back to me. Oh, I turned it around. I'm back to me. I finally figured it out. I'm back to me. So when you think you have nothing, back to me. I go back to me. Yeah, I'm back to me.
Hello, everyone. It's your host, Yoli Tamu. It's that time again. And with the election around the corner and a Divine Nine candidate on the ballot to be the next president of the United States of America, we couldn't wait to hear from college students on campuses across the nation. To commemorate our fourth annual Divine Nine series, we begin with Ajalon Washington, president of the Iota Kappa chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. This upcoming graduate joins us to discuss the importance of voting based on our history and why he plans to become a middle school history educator in the Dallas Independent School District. Find out how he overcame personal learning differences and how he has been able to maintain his mental health while in college. Enjoy. I think this is our fourth annual Divine Nine series. And this year we wanted to feature undergraduates. And I'm just so excited to have a spring 2024 initiate. And he's the current president of the Iota Kappa chapter for Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity at Paul Quinn College in Dallas, Texas. Ajalon Washington. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. I've been trying to play with your name. How are you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, good. I'm doing good. I'm so excited to have you and so grateful that you said yes. So thank you for being with us. How has the year gone for you so far?
Yeah, it's been going pretty quickly.
I know, right?
It's been
it's moving. Where was the summer?
Yeah, it all disappeared.
Oh my goodness, here we are. Well, I'm just grateful to have you because I know you guys are busy and to take this time out to really, celebrate the Divine Nine. This is a powerful season that we're in with the election and a Divine Nine candidate. So there's so much going on and I'm just excited to talk to you. And so we usually start off with your motivation. Now, I understand you're an education major.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so tell us about that and what motivated you to pursue education, particularly a Black male. That's pretty rare.
So one of the reasons why I want to pursue education, because my parents are both educators. My mom's a kindergarten teacher. My dad, he taught business for a little bit, but then he primarily sticks with basketball because he's the head coach of Dallas High School, W.T. White. And growing up as the son of two educators, it's kind of hard not to want to be an educator.
Right. It's in your face.
Yeah, all the time.
But that's powerful. You got some powerful mentors around you in your parents, I love that. So mom is a kindergarten teacher and dad's a head coach of a basketball team. Fantastic. So now when you and I spoke before, you talked about middle school and I'm like, oh, middle school. What made you pick middle school?
Yeah, I wanted to start off, I want to work for DISD, which is the Dallas Independent School District. And the reason why I wanted to start from middle school, because that'll give me a little ground because the kids, they still in a better learning state. And I know middle school can be awkward and it's best to have somebody there that can help guide them and be a little more patient with them. And again, when I was in middle school, I didn't see a lot of Black male teachers.
Right.
And I know that coming from someone who is Black, I find it very important to have Black male teachers in school environments.
Mm-hmm. Did you have Black male school teachers when you were in middle school?
No, I did not.
Wow. Pretty powerful. Interesting. So middle school. Yes, that is that transitional period. And they'll probably be very excited to see your face because, you are a rare breed. You know what I mean? So that's great that you're thinking about middle school. So now when we also talk about your upbringing in the past, you were telling me about some learning differences that you were experiencing and that you wanted to really make a difference, not only in that area, but you also wanted to influence lesson plans and incorporate history, I think is what you told me.
Yes. So one of my learning differences, I have ADHD, which means that it's harder for me to stay focused, but I've learned to use that more of an asset than to think of it as disability. Because although staying focused is sometimes a struggle for me to stay focused, when I'm on topic, I'm on the topic. And I know how to keep myself concentrated, even though I have ADHD.
So when you talked about an emphasis on history, what did you mean by that?
So I found a passion for history when I went to my little schoolhouse in Cedar Hill. The school had helped kids with learning disabilities, dyscalculia, dyslexia, or ADHD. It helped us understand what that was. But that is where I fell in love with history, because although my teachers didn't always tell us the full extent of history, of like the history lesson we were learning, it was the intimate conversations we would have after the class is where I started to find my passion for researching and like discovering things for myself.
And so you had teachers that took the time to talk to you beyond the subjects, to talk about other things.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Did you seek out those teachers, or they wanted to take the time with you?
I sought them out. Everybody else would have left the classroom. I just stayed behind and asked them more questions.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So when you talk about a learning difference, you said it's not dyslexia. It's, what did you say? There's something else?
Dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia. Tell me what that is.
Dyscalculia is pretty much dyslexia, but with numbers.
With numbers. Okay. Seeing numbers backwards.
Which always happens for me, which is why I don't like dealing with numbers. But
Wow. And so did you find that your teachers just took time with you and, didn't push you along or ignore you? They really poured into you.
Yes, they did. And it's gotten better. I'm dealing like numbers are not as scary to me anymore. And I've learned I just have to do them step by step.
Right. And the teachers were clearly patient, because that's what it takes. I love that. So now when we think about history being your choice and really wanting to get to know yourself, you and I talked about the continent in the center of the world influences all. Break it on down. How does the continent in the center of the world influence all?
So my passion for history comes from Africa. I've always been interested in like pre-Columbian continents. And Africa would be one of those continents because there's a rich history before Europe even came to Africa. Before the European Renaissance, there's a rich history in Africa on what people were doing. And although it's not talked about that much, that is an area I would like to explore. Like what was going on in Africa during the Black Plague? What was going on in Africa when Rome was like conquering the world? Like, what were the Africans doing? And how were they influencing other nations and other continents?
And your goal is to teach this to middle schoolers?
That is my goal. Now, I know Texas, when it comes to their education system, there are some issues with that right now.
Right. History not being in the books, right? All the history. Now, we talked about, as you said, Africa being the continent in the center that's influencing all. And can you think of a couple ways, examples that come to mind of how Africa has influenced the other continents?
Well, one big way is architecture. If you see African architecture, it can be found in every continent in the world. Cities that are ring structured, like buildings, pyramids. If you look at the pyramids in Africa, they are built in the same way the pyramids are built in Mesoamerica. Although the exterior looks different, they have the same geometry.
Wow.
Yeah, and another is agriculture, because agriculture, cultivating, especially when it comes to like rice, grain, and everything, you can find the same layouts for rice and grain in Africa and other countries.
So good to know. Such a rich history. So when we think about critical race theory and all the drama behind it, how do you feel about that? What's your take on it?
To me, critical race theory should not be taken away. If you are to talk about American history is part of Black history.
That's right.
There is no America without Black people. If you take us out of the picture, America isn't here.
Pretty much. So now along those lines of thinking about our ancestors, you have decided to become a part of the Divine Nine, and you chose Alpha Phi Alpha. What encouraged you to do that?
So if I was 10 years old again, I would just say my dad encouraged me because I am a legacy. I'm his first legacy.
Okay.
But as I got older, my reasonings for joining changed. Before I considered to join Alpha, I looked at all the other fraternities from Omega Psi Phi, Phi Beta Sigma, and Iota Phi Theta, even Kappa Alpha Psi.
Fantastic. I think you're one of the first people to say out loud that you researched them all.
Yes, I did. I researched each and every one of them, and I love the reasons why they were all organized.
And then why did you settle? Because of dad legacy, or why did you settle on Alpha Phi Alpha?
I settled for Alpha Phi Alpha, pretty much the service that they provide for the communities, the people who have been alphas. Thurgood Marshall, Martin Luther King. Like, to me, like, those are people I look up to.
Absolutely. That's a powerful lineup right there. My goodness. Martin Luther King and your dad. How about it? The mentor.
Yeah, and my dad.
In your face. Okay, so now for that listener on this platform, we serve that incoming college freshman. We serve that outgoing postgraduate that's going through those transitions in the world and, just dealing with the anxiety of a new environment. So I'm sure you can relate. And you are a senior, right? So you can ready to head out.
Yeah, I'm a senior.
Okay. So congratulations. So do you have an idea of where you're headed? You know where you're going?
I do plan to go just like straight into the district, DISD.
Okay, right into the school
Start working.
district. I love it. So now when we think about transitions, you talked about learning differences. You talked about, having mentorship and being surrounded. How have you been able to preserve your mental stability during this college journey for those new college listeners?
How I keep myself sane, in other words.
Yes, how?
Really, so there've been days I've gotten up and been like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, just take me home. I want to go to college. I don't want to go through this. It's hard being by yourself. And although I'm not far from home, it's just the fact that I was here by myself, especially for my first year.
Right.
Like, if I failed, nobody was going to be there to just pick me up and be like, come on, dude, let's go. I had to pick myself up. How I stayed sane was each and every day, and you can ask the president of my college about this, I would run around the entire campus just to stay fit. But there are some moments I would take off my headphones and just walk. I feel the air, listen to the animals. And to me, that reminded me there's a reason why I'm still here. There's a reason why I'm still living. And it's not worth curling up and sobbing about it.
Mm-hmm. So you connect with nature and that became your connection to purpose. I love that. Wow. That's a good way to think about it because the birds keep chirping, they keep flying.
Despite all the bad that happens.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. So when you were by yourself in your beginning years, how did you seek out community? Did you join some organizations that were, of course, not Greek at the time, but what did you do to acclimate yourself to the campus?
So I was on a track team for about 2 years.
Okay.
That helped me get used to how the campus works. And along with that is the campus, we have our work program. It's a work-based campus. One of the few work-based campuses in America. So what that means is in order to live on campus, we have to enroll into the work program, which that gives us the opportunity to have internships at different job spaces, like JP Morgan Chase, the Dallas Zoo, which I recently interned there, or United to Learn, which is the internship I'm going to be doing this semester.
Wow. So you said it's a requirement for all students to join the workforce.
If you're planning to live in-house.
Oh, okay. If you're going to live on campus. I love that. That's unique to your campus, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Very cool. I love it. I love it. Okay, it's election season. As I said, we have a Divine Nine candidate in there. How do you feel about voting without sharing your belief system? But are you voting?
Flat answer, yes.
Absolutely, right? We better. So now why? Why do you feel it's important to vote?
Being a history man, if you've seen and read and experienced, especially those who have experienced all of the foolishness that happened to our people just because they wanted to vote, us not voting puts all that to shame.
Yeah, it was like, what was the point, right?
And although some people, they may say, what is voting going to change? I'm like, voting changes a lot. Because what people forget is, and this is something my older brother told me, a mob will do you just as good as a sword. If you have enough people on your side, you can do a lot of things. Malcolm X did it, and some individuals today do it, both for good and bad reasons.
I love it. My goodness. And so you plan to go up and down the ballot, right? In your voting process?
Yes.
Okay. And so how do you get clear on the issues? Do you Google search? Where do you go to learn about the issues? You ask people on campus? What's your practice?
I Google search, ask people on campus, usually those who keep up with the news. I stay in contact with the Sphinx, which is the official publishing magazine of Alpha by Alpha.
Okay. Fantastic. So your fraternity is bringing you guys up to speed as well.
Yes, they are.
That's important. Love that. Well, this has been an honor. I mean, just speaking to you, an upcoming graduate, my goodness, congratulations again. We always wrap up with these final words of encouragement. And so I'm just thinking about my listener and, for those that are just, embarking on college for the first time, are there any final words of encouragement for them?
So final words of encouragement from me to them would be, it's going to be scary at first. It really is. Because it is another step. College is your first step into official adulthood. If your goal is to go to college, which I do encourage you to do. And there are going to be days you're going to want to just sit there and be like, I can't do this. There are going to be days you're not going to want to get up. There are going to be days you're going to want to cry, which all that is fine because that's part of it. That's human nature. But what we can't do is we can't give up. We can't let the bad things keep us down. We can't let the conversations, the hatred, the anger, we can't let that stir up in our head. We can't let that keep us from being the best that we are today.
This is so powerful what you're saying, because you said you've had those bad days. Sometimes you just need to take off and stay home and just stop. Don't you think? What do you do when you have your bad days?
When I have a bad day, I either write or play video games with my brother.
Okay, you find an outlet. All right, so you encourage others to do that.
That, and I also pray.
Spiritual foundation, very important, very important. Well, this has been fantastic. If people want to reach out to you and learn even more about you or even your fraternity, where would you like to send them? To LinkedIn, or do you have an email or an IG? Where would you like to send them?
Yeah, I have a LinkedIn.
Okay, we'll send them there. Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. I have a LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay.
I'll be a little more active on both of those.
Okay, what's your IG handle?
It's B_T_JAY.
Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you for being our first of the Divine Nine series and saying yes. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. All right. So I'll be in touch with you very soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
And good luck to you. Congratulations on being a graduate. You're out of here.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
All right. You take care.
You as well.
Thank you for joining us. As you consider identifying your purpose while in college, make sure you align it with a legacy you can be proud of. For more information about other episodes, remember to subscribe to the Back to Me podcast, College and Beyond. I'm your host, Yoli Tamu. Leave a review at the end of this podcast, and if you would like to learn more about other special events, join the Back to Me podcast group available now on GroupMe, or simply text Back to Me to 833-206-4565. Until next time, be well.